There is a famous saying that says, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And companies need to heed that advice just as much as the customers do. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and a few days ago I reported on a story in which drivers got the best FU revenge to Uber I have seen in quite a while. Uber and Lyft pushed hard, and I mean very, very hard in California and probably in other states too, to enforce their arbitration clauses. Now, arbitration, for those of you who are not aware, I don't like explaining what this is every single time, but it's important, is a clause that companies put into their contracts that say that if they do something wrong, you cannot sue them for it. You have to go into arbitration, where the company will hire an outside investigator to overlook a situation and decide whether or not the company actually did something wrong. This is, of course, a huge conflict of interest, and very, very rarely, if ever, I can't think of a single arbitration clause case that the customer or the employee came out winning. The company always wins. So, needless to say, I would prefer that I prefer that people be allowed to sue companies, which might hold them a little bit more accountable. However, I have to admit, the Uber drivers came up with a very, very smart thing. They actually sued Uber for not following up on the arbitration clause themselves. And why would they not follow up? Well, because arbitration is actually really expensive. Uber fought to keep them out of the courts. Like, hey, you can't sue us. You have to go through arbitration. And they probably figured that that would be a great thing. And that resulted in thousands of people suing Uber where they can't keep up. And now they're getting sued for not holding up their end of the bargain. It was very clever, to be frank. But Uber is not the only one who is having this issue. Lyft is having the exact same lawsuit brought to them. And with this story, we've got a very good idea now of just how many people have complaints if they're a driver, or maybe even a passenger. Some of these might be passengers. You never know. Anyway, according to Bloomberg, Lyft Inc. was sued for allegedly refusing to pay $9 million for private arbitration for thousands of drivers who were blocked by the company from pursuing claims in court that they are wrongfully classified as independent contractors. About 3,240 drivers want Lyft to spend $2,650 on each individual arbitration as the ride-hailing company heads towards an initial public offering. Okay, let's hold up. Like, yeah, there's my Sailor Moon wallpaper. I mean, yeah. So let's see here. So, $2,650. Let's put 1 penny just so that we can, just so that we know it's a figure. And 3,240. Yep, that's almost $9 million. Almost $9 million. And this is just the start. This is just the start. More people will be coming through and filing for arbitration. It's very clever on the driver's part because there are so many disgruntled drivers that once they actually realize that this is a thing, most of them are going to file grievances with Uber, Lyft, and they're going to force them to pay up. Uber and Lyft likely probably thought this was going to be a cheaper alternative. A few people will fight an arbitration, but we'll pay the $3,000 and we'll win, and it'll be a win. But now when you have like thousands of drivers coming forward and now it's costing you millions of dollars, it's like, oh, remember those days when all of them just jumped into a class action lawsuit and we just made one lump payment? Yeah, we kind of miss those days, don't we? Well, let's continue. Larger rival Uber Technologies Inc., which has also announced plans for an IPO, faces similar claims that it left 12,500 drivers in the lurch by not paying for their arbitrations. Now, how much is that? Well, let's go back. 2,000, I keep forgetting, 650 times 12,500. Yeah, Uber's looking at quite a bit more money than Lyft is. And I bet you a lot more people are really coming after Uber. It would be way cheaper to settle class action lawsuits at this point. But hey, the way Uber fought this, that's no longer an option. So this is the only way to screw Uber, and people are going to do it. And if they don't pay this money, then they can get sued, which for not following through the arbitration. It's, again, once in a while, the drivers truly surprise me and make me proud to do this. I mean, this is just brilliant on so many levels. Let's continue. This is not a very long article. Drivers for both companies are bound by their contracts to resolve workplace disputes in arbitration rather than in court. And it's going to cost Uber and Lyft quite a bit of money. Now, some people might say, well, if you have like a couple class action lawsuits, this is still cheaper. And it's true. But here's the bottom line. Neither Uber or Lyft want to pay for any of this. I mean, they pushed for arbitration because they will almost always win it. I mean, when you have a arbiter come in to look at a situation, who's the arbiter going to actually rule with? The person who is wronged or the person who is paying them? I mean, it's just common sense. That's why I think it should be illegal to do that, frankly. And yet, now the driver's saying, okay, well, if we all have to do it, I guess we're all going to do it. And now stories are coming out like this one that points out Uber and Lyft can't keep up, and they're getting sued for not holding their end of the contract, which, by the way, is just going to encourage more people to file a dispute with them. Heck, I might file a dispute with them just for the heck of it, because at this point, I'm sure I'd be way at the bottom of the list. Now, okay, I'm not going to actually do that. I don't have a personal reason to sue them, because I don't think I do. I should really think about my history and see if I can't think of something. But a lot of people are going to do this. I can think of at least one viewer who has a very good reason to file an arbitration claim with them, and when they don't pay attention, he can sue them for that. And by the way, his case is pretty serious, so yeah, that could turn into a much bigger lawsuit than just the arbitration thing. So this is going to be very interesting to watch to see how it all unfolds, what Uber and Lyft end up paying in the long run, and what they're going to do about it. But what do you folks think? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Are you filing an arbitration case with either Uber or Lyft? Do you plan to after hearing stories like this? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even so, $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.